players left. Pulls up, looking for the lead, and he got it. Jalen Williams, 2 seconds, 1:11:109. Now SGA, probing, piercing, spinning, hanging for the lead, and SGA knocks it down. The Thunder finally get the defensive stop, and SGA puts them in front.
I'm Kenrich Williams. You're listening to Topic Thunder.
Let's go, baby! Come on!
We did it!
Welcome back, everybody.
We did it! 2025 NBA Champion Podcast, Topic Thunder.
Sir. Yes, sir. We're the Topic Thunder Podcast. We are the podcast for your NBA champions of the 2025 NBA season.
That is how we intro every podcast till the next NBA Finals, baby.
Absolutely, absolutely. Hey,
when we say back to back?
When we say back to back.
Oh, can we say back to back to back to back?
Oh, we're gonna get so greedy.
Listen. I mean, let's live in the moment. Let's live in the moment. We can talk about how good we feel about the future coming up. But I mean, man, what a feeling, man! Like I was Chelsea, I'm like, I don't even know what to talk about. Are we talking about the game? Are we talking about what it meant to get here, or are we just reacting? And it's like kind of all of it. So
just shoot from the hip.
Yeah, I mean, guys, like how are we feeling right now?
1-0.
That's what. Look, if you're on YouTube, my name has been Tierney00 every game for the last at least month, and today it is finally 1-0. We are 1-0 in the NBA season. It feels great. I don't know, like I didn't realize how much you can perspire, you can sweat just by sitting completely still watching a television screen. But my palms were sweaty the entire game. In that fourth quarter, when they started just getting all the free throws, and it was like, oh my God. And they ran out of timeouts. Shea had 5 fouls. I was like, okay, I think we still got it, but I am very worried. And when they finally got that last, I think it was like Czech got fouled with like a minute left. It was like, oh my God. And Shea said it after the game too. I think I'm kind of in the same boat. I don't know if I've like fully processed it yet. Like I'm excited, but I'm just like, I think it's because you don't have another feeling to go off of to be similar to this. But we did it. We every season, the entire franchise has been in Oklahoma City has always ended in a loss. We've always ended on a bad note. And for the first time ever, we are ending our NBA season with a win. And like, it's just, I don't know how to explain it.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of emotions going on. And like, obviously like the vibes are very high. We're a deep podcast right now. You see, we're going to have a rotating member of pod members.
This is the OKC Thunder depth right here.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, Dolan was waiting in the backstage. Dolan is on here, but also joining us from the happiest place on earth, Alex Roig in the building as well.
Let's go,
my guys,
boys.
My guys,
love you.
We're coming in hot, boys.
With a comma.
Bro,
God.
My gosh, it sucks that I wasn't there, but a championship is a championship regardless, bro. Ooh.
We finally did it. Dolan, how are you feeling? I know how you're feeling, but tell us how you're feeling.
I'm so happy to be here.
Yeah.
I don't think my mic's working properly, so I'm going to leave and come back.
Okay.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, Top of Thunder podcast shirt. I love it. Yeah, I was rocking the Lucky crew neck. I had to do it. For the vibes. I'm sweating up a storm right now, but I may never take this thing off. We lost Alex too. That's crazy. Okay,
we've got a couple injuries. They'll be back.
We went from 5 and now we're at 3. But yeah, no, I mean, guys, this has just been absolutely surreal. First of all, like the playoff run that we just went on.
That's what I wanted to talk about.
It was absolutely insane. Like people want to talk about how OKC got gifted this run to the finals. And like, I just push back against that because, we're still a very young team. This was our second real, postseason run. And sure, like we blew through the Grizzlies, but that Nugget series really pushed us. It really helped us grow and mature and prepare us for what we had to do to end up winning the finals. And it's just like people have asked me all day, like, how am I feeling? And like, I felt confident because, we haven't lost a back-to-back game in the postseason. This was playing out just like the Nugget season. We was playing at home. I felt so confident all day long. And now that like we're here, and now that it's happened, it's just like, I don't know. There's just been like a weight lifted off my shoulder. And like, I just can't stop smiling, man. Like, I know a lot of people show their emotions like different ways. Like a lot of people's crying, but like my face is literally hurting from how much I've been smiling like the past hour. So
I did cry when Dub was crying on the sideline. I will say that got me teared up. That was pretty cool. Yeah. I mean, he's obviously already an emotional guy, but you could just see in his face like how like all the weight of every day of putting in this work and trying to reach this point, and it all just kind of came out at that point. I loved everybody's reactions, like Hartenstein and Caruso on the sideline, just kind of jumping up and down together. And then when they're doing the trophy presentation, and they stacked like 4 hats on Mark because that's what they always do. It's so funny because they usually do the towels, and they just were like, "What else do we have? Oh, let's put some confetti on his head, and then let's all put our hats on it." They just found things to put on him because they're just a bunch of children. And then the other one was when Alex Caruso was getting interviewed, and I don't know who it was, some guy just like reached over and like tried to touch his face, and Caruso, being the oldest one, was just like, "Bro, stop! Like, actually stop! I'm in the middle of an interview." He's like, "Yeah, I'm sorry," but they're just the whole team. What makes it so much better? Obviously, like if they just won and they were a good NBA team, that's great. But the fact that they have so much personality too, they've been known now to be like the post-game interview team where they all come together. They all do weird stuff with Nick Gallo, and it makes them so much more personable. And you saw a lot of that tonight again at the trophy presentation. I think that's what makes it that much better of a win for us to like see them achieve this, is because we've gotten to see who they are beyond basketball players a lot more than I think some other NBA teams, and it makes you appreciate it for them just a little bit more.
For you guys. I don't know about y'all, but I feel almost more relief than excitement.
Oh, for sure. I think that's what I'm feeling. Yeah, I think I'm just like,
it's just like, thank goodness it's over in a way. Yeah,
I mean, it
was very symbolic.
I don't dwell on this, but with Halliburton getting hurt, and on top of that, just being like heavy favorites, right? It lends itself to a lot more of that feeling, because it would have felt like a failure, if they don't win this series, or especially this game.
T in the chat said Jaw had figured us out though.
He was good in the West.
Remember that like a year ago?
Yeah.
God,
yeah, that's pretty spot on, Dolan. I mean, and with us being the 1 seed last year, like, and how we felt with that, it was like, oh God, we cannot go through this again. But man,
I told you guys. I told you guys at the beginning of the playoffs, I was like, I don't care how we win. I don't care if it's the hardest road. I don't care if it's the easiest road. Like, a lot of people are going to say things about Halliburton being out, and it's justifiable.
It's fair. It's a fair argument. But I don't care though.
I don't care. You can only play who's in front of you.
Asterisks aren't real.
Yeah, and it's not like we hurt Halliburton. It's not like we purposely, Patrick Beverley'd him. So I'm going to take this championship. I'm going to cherish this championship. I'm going to know that it's 100% real, and I'm going to enjoy the shit out of it, man. Like we're champions. Like we are champions. We are etched in the history books. We are etched in the NBA echelon of like
that banner is going
top teams.
It's so
ever,
good.
Top seasons ever, and so top player in a season ever. Like it's all there. It's all there, and we deserved it. And we worked our butts off during regular season to get to this point. You get to the point to where if you have to have a game 7, you want it in your
That's why you win 68 games.
Exactly. And we had it in our gym. And it's just like, you know what? I know Halliburton started off hot, We don't know how the game would have ended if he would have stayed in the game, but I don't care. We were at home. We were in front of our fans, and it's legit. We are champions. We are winners. And you know what? Whatever happens from here on out, if injuries take hold, if a bad trade, if J-Dub says, hey, I would like to see if I could do this with my own team. If any of that happens in the future, it does not dismiss this year. And that's how I feel about it.
It takes away the need for us to use context in our arguments anymore. Like every time we would say something, or if people would, shoot, you never won a championship, or like you talk about Sam Presti and it's like couldn't get it done, like couldn't put the finishing touches on. And it's like, well, we have all this context. Like there's injuries this year, there's injuries that year. James Harden actually wanted his own team, like blah, blah, blah. All this context we want to throw in. We're now on the other side. Like it's now on our detractors to be like, yeah, but did you consider this context and this context? And we're just like, there's a banner hanging over there. Yep. Do you see that? Like that's
it's
real.
Right over there.
I could touch it. I could touch it. My hand.
Yeah, I just gotta say really fast before we move on to the next.
I think we have another member.
Okay.
I was just making sure you saw that.
Real quick. I just wanted to say Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, this season, All-Star starter. He's been that. Scoring title, first team All-NBA, regular season MVP, Western Conference Finals MVP, NBA championship, NBA Finals MVP. He's only 26, had a Hall of Fame resume already. And I don't know if you guys saw what they're calling him now. They're calling him the trophy merchant.
I'm cool with that. I'm super cool with that.
That goes so hard.
He is a trophy merchant.
Keep racking him up.
I said we're gonna have some other people on the pod join in. Let's talk to somebody else boots on the ground that had privilege to be at Game 7 to see the title. 3 Cone himself, Connor. What up, Cone?
It's a parade inside my city.
Let's go, let's go. Is that it?
Come on, man.
I gotta say, Cone, is that profile pic real?
Yeah.
That's crazy. That goes so hard.
Yeah, we had the Larry O.B. in the Snapback studio. I took a pic of that, and I've been waiting to make that my profile picture.
Yeah, I'm glad you sat on that. That's awesome. That's so sick. Nah, man,
it's so unbelievable. I sobbed like an absolute baby in the stands. Like I was so out of it. Like I'm so on cloud 9 that I actually walked out of the arena without stopping to buy my championship merch. So I know someone in there, he's going to stop by and check for me, but either way, I'll just come back tomorrow. But I mean, it's unbelievable, man. I can't put into words this feeling, and to see them get it done in person. It was very worth the ticket. That's way more than I want to talk about. Nah, man.
It's month's rent.
Absolutely incredible. I mean, you can hear my voice. Like it's basically gone, both because I'm sick and because of screaming. And
you can stop being sick now, by the way. We already won, so just
I love if my immune system would listen to that.
Actually looking a little green.
But seriously, I mean, it's
got him.
Yeah, and the glow of the Paycom Center, everything's green here, baby. But no, seriously, it's.
Tom, before you get off, real quick, because I know you probably you got things to do in the end here, but just real quick, we'd never get to have this happen. We actually have all 7 members of the unit present tonight.
Oh my God,
ladies and gentlemen, please welcome.
Is the screen gonna? How's this gonna work? How are we gonna fit 7 in here?
Oh my God! How's gonna work?
So small on our screen.
Go, boys!
Oh, Jerry's.
We fucking did it!
Jerry's so high, dude.
No, I'm fucking
Let's go,
drunk,
Jerry.
and I don't give a shit.
Yeah,
Let's go, boys!
Let's go, Jerry.
We did it, baby. We did it.
Oh my God.
Tierney, I will literally go to your house right now and fucking punch you. Don't fucking act like you're not amped the fuck up right now.
Why are you coming in? Why me?
Because you act like I was being an asshole. Get the fuck up right now.
What are you talking about?
25 champions, asshole.
Are we gonna have a problem?
Hey,
What
nobody.
the fuck?
Nobody has to get stabbed. We won already. Nobody has to get
We
stabbed.
Yeah, we're
fucking
good.
did it, boys.
We did it.
We
man.
fucking did
We
it.
love it.
Or
Champagne Jerry turning into
or now
baby
that-
making Jerry tonight,
Hey.
probably.
Yo,
Or now that we
Yo.
won, Tierney. And
I was about. I had to bring that up. Cone, if you're at the parade, Cone, I'm bringing a knife, and yeah, we're just gonna hash it out.
just because you had a
Okay.
fancy hat on, fuck you, Tierney. All right,
It's the hat. Dude is wearing the same hat, Jerry.
fancy hat. All right,
What are you talking?
fuck you.
Oh my god.
Alright.
I don't think it's probably. This is just. This is crazy. This is crazy.
Yeah,
Is that a Hayden sighting?
That
That's
is
a
Hayden.
sign right there.
Hey.
Baby.
Got my Mountain Dew in celebration. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, not me.
let's go.
Hell yeah.
Not me, brother. All right, I got police sirens, but I live in a good neighborhood up here.
That's good.
I'm not like fucking Cone over there. Cone's been fucking.
Why are you're just going at random people?
No, Cone feels at home right now. He's like, oh yeah, this is New York all the way. Fucking love it. This is New York.
Man, I just
Yeah.
I want to say real quick, just in the man, just being in the arena, like that was, I mean, legit will never ever forget any of that. It was the single coolest sports experience of my life, not even a conversation. And hey, boys,
Yeah.
we did it. Like, you know, I hopped on, I heard y'all were talking about the Halliburton stuff, which I gotta say fucking sucks. The fact that not
hate
only
that,
did
yeah.
Man,
For next
fuck
season, too.
him and
For next
his
season.
dad. Fuck him.
No, that's the thing. It's not only because it's not only this game. It's all of next season, and I can't imagine any team ever lets anybody play on a calf injury ever again.
Yeah.
Between Dame and Tatum,
They all are zero, and they're all zero.
Stupid.
yeah.
Stupid.
Never were
Fucking
zero.
dumb. That was fucking dumb. You don't do that. You don't do that. I don't care what anybody says. You don't do that. Sit your ass down. Wait till next season, big dog. We're gonna have our asses clapped by the fucking Thunder tonight. Just sit your ass down. All right.
Yo, what's up?
So
Yeah.
I want to ask you because Wiz at Game 6, and I mean I think we could both admit there was some pretty loud pops from the Pacers crowd in Game 6. How did Game
Wait.
7
Let's talk about Halliburton talking shit about when we win this.
Jerry, you got.
When we win this game, that fucking terrorist, fuck him. Fuck you. We're driving our buses all throughout the city. Fuck you. You can't tell me shit right now. I've been a fan since 2008. Fuck you and your mother, your ugly father.
Oh.
Always smokes a fucking crack pipe. Fuck you. I'm sorry. Yeah, I don't
If I
care.
kick Jerry, he's gonna kill me. He's gonna
Cut it.
murder me.
Cut it.
Tierney.
Brother, come on.
Fuck y'all. No.
Love you, Jerry, but
No.
it's a celebration, my guy.
I turned him down. He's just a little lower volume.
So yeah, I mean, Dylan in the building. I mean, nothing. It got loud in Indiana, but biggest pops like when the clock was winding down, when Dub hit that three to put us up about 20. Chet had that big. They hit a shot and then Chet had that big dunk in transition when Shea hit that three. Like, man, that stretch right there, the big three, each of them hitting a three for us. Like that.
So perfect. So like chef's kiss.
That's the moment right there, man. And I mean, it's incredible to be out here to see this, to talk with people. Like for us to have gotten the job done, man. There's no more ifs and ands.
Oh no!
We lost Cone.
Fucking Oklahoma City Wi-Fi.
We lost Cone.
Typical Oklahoma City Wi-Fi right there.
There
he is.
Someone called me, so my phone glitched out.
Boo.
Tell your fiance
But-
to chill the fuck out.
Keep talking.
I'm muted. I muted him.
It's one of those things where, I mean, we did it, y'all. It doesn't matter what anybody. People can try and say asterisks and this and that and whatever. It doesn't matter. Like there's gonna be a banner hanging inside Akon Center. Shea, Dub, Chet, man, all these guys, they got a ring. They got it done. And for it to also be Shea and Dub finished with the second most points combined of any duo in NBA Finals history. And Chet sets the record for most blocks in a Game 7, man. They got it done. You know, it wasn't always pretty, but they got it done when it mattered most. And to now be, I think, the youngest champions ever, second youngest champs ever. I think
Portland.
Second youngest to Portland, yeah.
As I said, I think Portland had us beat, but I mean, this team's not normal. You're not supposed to
Hella
be this
young.
good, get a championship this early, and the fact that they went ahead and got it done. I mean, it's it's something special. I'll remember this for the rest of our lives. Appreciate y'all for real. Like this, it's a dream come true to be here and to be talking with y'all right now outside Paycom Center with us as NBA champs for real.
Let's go.
Hey, props to Caruso and Usman Jang for getting their second championships.
Hey.
I mentioned that. Yeah, it's
Bro,
great.
it's like, bro, Topic has got a title.
Yo,
Heck yeah.
that's his first one out of 2. Just wait.
Yeah, Nikola
yeah.
Topic, he's gonna get a few more. What, you
Yeah,
just
Tierney,
wait.
I gotta ask, did
There
you have
it
the Topic jersey
is.
on tonight?
NBA
Tierney-
Finals champion.
You better wear that Topic jersey to the parade.
Yes, I am. That's why I bought it.
I'm
Yeah,
just
wear
saying.
that.
I bought it. It's going.
Oh.
It's going right on the bod Tuesday.
Shea Rain before Luca. Shout out
Oh,
to
interesting.
Shea
Love
Ring
it.
before Ant. Shea
Interesting.
Ring
Shea Rain
before
before
Westbrook.
Oh, that was
Just list them all. List them all. Two ring Jangs. That's what they're calling them.
And
That Ring
on,
before Wemby.
Chet
and
before Wimby.
He's
on
going
a
crazy.
day where Kevin Durant made headlines early, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander was crowned the greatest Thunder player ever. It's just so beautiful.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It was.
100%.
Look,
May he never play for the
Poetic,
Rockets.
isn't
what
it?
should I get, boys? What should I get?
Yeah. Can we stop having some of our greatest players ever play for the Rockets? I'm sick of it.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Kevin Durant
They
just
want to
trying
be
to
us.
Well, right there.
trying to ruin our championship day. That
What
trade.
is that? The Mean Girls thing? It's like, why are you so obsessed with me? That's the Rockets with the Thunder.
Katie did tweet out about it. So after they won, so shout out that I guess. Respect
Enough
that.
of him.
Yeah, it's a little too much Katie talk.
Yeah, no. I mean, hey, let's. What did
Just keep.
Jerry say?
I don't know. Just keep talking, dude.
Okay. I just want to point out, talking about Shea, I mean, let's talk about the game a little bit because, I mean, it was important, to have this game happen. And Shea
The game.
wasn't.
Yeah. It was an important game.
It was
Yeah.
important.
He wasn't as efficient as
Lady.
he has been throughout the playoffs and through the season. But man, what he was doing as a playmaker tonight was absolutely absurd. Finished with 12 assists to only 1 turnover. And I think he had 7 assists at halftime. Like, he was just absolutely carving up the defense. And it's really wild considering, the Pacers had given him fits. Like, he had 8 turnovers in the game prior against the Pacers in Indiana. And I think that he had more turnovers than assists in the whole series. And to just turn it around, tonight, and, was just – they were big assists too. We mentioned the 9-0 run that we went on out of the third quarter where Shea hit the 3, kicked it out to Chet and Dub. Both of those passes on complete bailouts. Like, he pulled up for the jump shot and did that thing where he keeps the body control and just spins and finds them right in the shooting pocket.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he was on a mission tonight, and he 100% the Finals MVP.
Don't talk about him like that. That was planned.
He was 2 for 12, I think, from 3. Let it be known he took 2 half-court heaves, so
He did.
count
2 for
those
10.
in. But I was just laughing because, remember the Kobe stat line from his Game 7 in the Finals? I think he was 7 for 28 or something, and they won. And it was Shea had a similar percentage in this game, so I was laughing about that. But yeah, 12 assists, 1 turnover, and he was doing all the other stuff too, right? He was defending the rim as the low man. He was helping out on the glass, just creating everything on offense. Despite what the percentages will tell you, just an outstanding performance from him. He was doing everything.
He was the engine.
He was, but not just not all
just
the little
scoring.
things. He was doing Caruso stuff,
Defensively, that one play in the
complete
corner, he was getting screened and he reached his hand in and was able to tip the ball out of Nembhard's hand whenever he was going up for the shot. He was doing all the little things tonight. And early in the game, we wasn't able to get a rebound. And Shea I think he finished with 5 rebounds. 4 of them were in the first half. He was going to work everywhere that he could to try to keep the Thunder in position to win this game. And I mean, that's what the leader does. That's what the MVP does. And he showed that tonight.
He was being a point guard, man. His position is point guard. He was being a point guard out there while scoring, while doing everything else. Yeah.
God.
Great performance.
Point guard. Yeah, I like it.
I think
All I can hear.
I'm gonna remember from this game, like we've already mentioned the stretch of 3-pointers in a row from the big three, with stops in between by Dort, and one with Dort combined with J-Dub, by the way. So like Dort being integral in that little stretch is always gonna stick in my memory. The other one is like a few minutes after that when Shea went to the bench. Without Shea on the court, like Caruso and Kaysen and J-Dub stretched the lead out from, I don't know, 6 to 11 or something like that with Shea on the bench. And just those two groups of players really making the plays that kind of help the Thunder pull away is like defines this team, you know? Like we have the big three, and then we have the other guys who can also do it while Shea's on the bench. And I just think that back-to-back 1-2 punch defines this team. Like that's going to be what I remember about this team in 20 years from now.
Dude, cookies and cream came to play tonight, man. Like Caruso.
Shout out the guy who was in the stadium wearing that shirt. Apparently.
Yeah, I wish Cohen would have tagged us in the picture or something like that so we could have seen it. But yeah, dude. I mean, Caruso. I was talking to my brother-in-law because they were here to watch the first half of the game. I was like, he had 2 combined points in the last 2 games, and like he opened up with 6 points, like that, like almost immediately. He finished with 10 points, but he had 4 stocks, 3 steals, and a block. And then Kaysen came out of his shell tonight, like he did in Game 5. Had 10 points, 2 rebounds, 3 steals, 4 or 6 from the field, and 2 huge threes, like 2 like momentum, like shifting 3-pointers. And
we needed all of them.
Yeah, absolutely. Like they were the game wreckers that they have been all postseason. And like I said, like shout out to Kaysen. Like this is his second playoff run, like in his career, and he's definitely had some ups and downs, but like to show up when it mattered the most was huge. It was absolutely huge for him.
Sitting here watching like that second half, down by 1, and everything that we knew that was like happening, because I think everybody knew in the whole world that Halliburton popped his Achilles there.
Yeah,
like you can watch the replay 3 times, and you're like, yeah, that's done for. But to this team, for them to be able to come in and still keep their head on straight, regardless of what happened, and still just put a punishment on that other team was absolutely amazing. Like, I hate the Pacers right now. Like, they're on the list. Like, them, the Rockets, the Warriors, and the Lakers, like, they can all get fucked. But I mean that. I'm sorry. They can all get fucked. But credit to the Pacers. Like, they tried their best, and we just beat that ass in that second half. Y'all, we're still fucking NBA champions right now. It doesn't matter what happens. We're still NBA champions right now. Still.
Can we go around and everybody say at what point they teared up a little bit or full out bawled and cried?
Right. I already said mine. But it was when J-Dub was crying on the sideline.
All right, nope. I was before that. So go ahead, Dylan.
I mean,
Bill's not a crier.
Yeah, I'm not, man. Like I cry.
It's because he's autistic. We know.
Yeah, I mean I am, but like I just don't cry. It's like I was telling him, man. I just I just haven't stopped smiling for like an hour and a half at this point. Like it really. I'm also like a big proponent of like the game's not over till the clock reads 0, and like that's usually what I use for my mantra when we're going for the comebacks. So on the flip side, I was definitely using that as my mantra tonight, and it wasn't until Mark like put them on, put the starters on the bench, walk to the scorer's table. Dort's pumping up the crowd's popping, giving them the standing ovation. And whenever Shea and Mark hugged, like you could see Mark was kind of glossy eyed a little bit as he was hugging the starters. And that's when it really started to hit me. And it was just like, I started shaking Chelsea. I was like, we did it. We did it.
All right, Bowles, what about you?
My time was because I have been a doomer. I'll wear I will wear that on my sleeve. That's fine.
Lost all that money. Lost all that money.
I would light it on fire 10 times out of 10. I do not care. When we finally got that last stop and we dribbled it across half court, and I think it was Kenrich had the ball, dribbling it out, and then they started playing the Black Eyed Peas because I've been thinking about that. Dun 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 dun.
That's great.
I've been playing that in my head in my dreams, like for years. And when that finally happened, it was just like, you can now breathe. So,
it's a good point, Doug.
Top rope.
It's a great point.
But
Doug.
like at that point, it's like it's official. Like it. I mean, it's official without being zeros official, and it's just like if they could play that, then I could let the Ducks open up a little bit.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
Well, I mean,
mine was I watch these games mostly by myself. My wife's not into basketball. I have a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old. The 5-year-old, she's not really into it yet. But when there was like 30 seconds left, I called everybody over and was like, you have to watch the end of this with me, like non-negotiable. And so they came and they were sitting with me watching the end of it. And then after the buzzer, and they showed just like, the main players over on the bench, and they were all just like jumping around, hugging and stuff. And my 5-year-old, she said, "Daddy, why are they all so happy?" And just like that emotion standing out to her, like on the TV, like her needing to comment about how happy they were, really like made it hit me how happy they were. And guys, they were like really happy.
They were very like more
so
happy than I've
happy.
ever seen.
That's when it got me. Like I felt it coming when Kenrich was dribbling out the clock. So I was like, oh, that's just really nice that he gets to do that. But then that's when it got me, when my daughter said that.
What about you, Rory?
So I was at the hotel where my daughter is staying. So my daughter is staying separate from us because she's staying with her volleyball team. And so we were at the hotel, and we were watching it in the lobby. It was like 20 of us just watching it in the lobby, and just kind of like seeing her tear up, seeing my oldest tear up. But what got me was whenever my wife FaceTimed me from the Airbnb, and my little one was bawling her eyes out. So that just kind of got me in the feels, and so yeah, man, that's the moment where I was, I got a little, glassy eyed and stuff like that, but yeah, man, I kept it together. I was just fucking happy. I was just happy, like just smiling and cheering and all that, man.
Do you guys see Shea kind of not tear up, but like choke up a little bit when he was? I think it was.
He does. Did you watch his MVP? Did you watch his MVP speech?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that was very rare. Glimpse at he's very stoic in public, but
I will say Chelsea teared up whenever Shea went over to hug his wife, and
that was cool.
The happiness in her face whenever they won.
She wants you to win a championship one day, dog.
Yeah, absolutely.
I started tearing up with like 2.5 minutes left because I knew that was a wrap. Like I knew it was.
It was around there. I think it was a little. That was a little early. I think it was like. I think it was. To me, I knew it was a wrap. I knew it was a wrap when it was about a minute left when Chet got fouled.
Sir, listen, I've had no kids except for one.
So you've had kids,
like celebrations. All right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I do pretty good at these, and yeah, I was on the floor. I think it was about a minute and a half left. I started crying. Like being here for 18 years, the moment that we got a team, I was all about it. Like from day one, watching the squad, and the fact that we made it happen finally was just the craziest fucking thing in my life. Nina, who, so for all you fucking plebeians out there don't know, she's named after Russell's wife. Yeah, I'm just trying to let everybody know that's how big of a fan that I am. She started crying, and we all just had just a cry fest at Steven's house.
The daughters, man. The daughters know how to get us. It's not fair.
They're so good at that, man.
Yeah,
Not fair.
no, it was amazing though. So the fact that we just won this shit and my daughter understood it was so much more special.
That's cool.
Like I've been telling her all week, like, well, not really all week since we lost on Thursday. I was like, listen, if we win this game, we get the trophy. If we don't, we lose the trophy. So which one do you want? The whole week I've been hyping her up about it, and she was so excited to get the trophy. She watched her Shave and Pete speech, and then me just being a little fucking crybaby bitch over here. Like, it was the greatest thing ever. It was the greatest thing ever. Like, I'll never forget this last, 2 weeks of my life. I just won't forget it.
Yeah.
I went to game 1, got to watch Hallie stick it in her butt real quick. And then just us battle back and just make it happen the rest of the way is just badass as a Thunder fan. Badass. I'm still really mad at myself now for selling my ticket. I'm really mad at myself.
It's all right. Still got the experience.
No, but
it's different when you're not there.
I know,
no,
but
bro, no. This is my problem. I would have fought somebody if we would have lost, and then I would have fought somebody if we won. And that's where I.
So you would have gotten arrested either way. So I get that.
Yeah, I just take my money and I run with it because I would have done.
It's fair.
It's fair. I would have done both.
Did the right thing.
Yeah. So, still a crazy ass fucking experience, especially living here. Tierney, where are you gonna park at for the parade?
I'm gonna find the closest thing. I'm gonna be there though.
I got you. you. We'll text on the side.
Okay. I'm gonna be there for sure.
Yeah.
Hey, gentlemen. Hey. So hold on. I got 2% left on my phone, so I'm gonna go ahead and bow out. Got a busy day tomorrow, so love y'all.
Love y'all.
Good job, Clay Plains Volleyball Club.
There you go. Thank you very much. Thunder up, baby.
Good luck.
Love you, Alex.
Thunder up.
Can I pivot real quick and talk about the post game or when they're on the whatever stage
ceremony,
the dais or whatever.
Isaiah Hartenstein's baby.
Oh my god!
Leave that baby alone. He was tired.
But I was just I'm impressed. I'm impressed. I'm like, how are you staying asleep? Like the entire arena was still there when they panned to the crowd. Like nobody left their seat.
Nina has done the same shit.
That's crazy. I'm just impressed.
2 out of the 3 Thunder events that we've had, Nina has done the same shit. Just been asleep.
And then
not on the floor of the NBA final.
It's like right where everything, all the audio merges.
He was so slumped. Shea had to hold up his head at one point.
That was what I was gonna say too. Is like he wasn't paying attention to the baby's head. It was just kind of like leaning back. I was like, that baby's got neck problems in the morning, but it was conked out.
That baby's okay.
Yeah, it was conked out.
The season's over. I need whatever the dosage that melatonin was though, for real.
Yeah. The other thing I was gonna mention is like we just got so much more off-season content because and we've mentioned it before. Hold on,
Isn't the draft tomorrow?
It's 2 days from now. It's so close. But do you guys remember that? Quick, since you mentioned it, do you guys remember in 2022 and 2023? We just had months. It felt like of draft content. And we had one draft coverage our previous episode, and it's just
learned a lot, by the way. If you
it's
guys
a great episode. I'm gonna go,
and we'll hype it up in the coming days. But unless we do that, nobody's gonna listen to that thing.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm gonna listen to it because they're great. But I like those.
I will after
those. But those we just had. It was just we were talking about the same draft prospects for months. I was like, I'm not a big. I don't know draft that well, so I was just like, oh my god, this feels like it's taking forever. And now it's like it feels like it's tomorrow. We're I don't know if we're gonna get an episode out before the draft. We'll probably do it the day of, but yeah, it's just like I don't know why they decided to do that too. It just feels like really they have so much time in between, now and I guess July. But
Is it? I mean, summer league's in like 3 weeks or something. If we go to Utah,
it's July 4th, July 6th, I think.
Yeah.
That's nuts, bro.
It's crazy.
It's really weird, man. Like the NBA, like it's been so long since we've had this deep of a postseason run. Like it's literally been 2 months since the start of the playoffs.
It's so crazy because like I think it was Zach Leopod who was talking about this. It kind of makes sense, thinking about the composition of these teams and how they're so young and so athletic. You kind of have to have that if you're going to be playing 2 months of playoff basketball and 4 separate NBA series. Like that takes a toll, and especially like how much more quick and fast paced the game has gotten over the years. Like you kind of need that makeup, and it takes forever to get through the NBA playoffs. But yeah, off-season content is going to be very rich, partly because of the draft, partly because the we have Vegas in like a few weeks, but I don't know, when does that NBA or that Netflix series come out with Shea and Halliburton? Because I am so excited for that now that we've won the championship. I cannot wait to see all the behind the scenes of that.
Can I buy the box set?
I will absolutely.
That.
I don't even have a DVD player, but I'll just buy it.
Expected in fall 2025, likely around October.
Okay, I was hoping earlier.
But... to start the new season.
Yeah.
My phone's about to die. I love you, motherfuckers.
Love you, Jerry.
Love you too, Jerry.
We fucking did it. All right.
See you Tuesday.
This is fucking great. Yeah, no, I'm gonna Tierney. I'll text you because I'm gonna be at one of my customers' houses in Mestre Park.
We're gonna get some footage for the pod.
Yeah.
Tell Dre we did it.
We did it. No, she knows. She knows. Nina was crying too, so my daughter was crying too. So that's the best part.
Yeah.
What was up? So.
High five, Jerry.
I'm giving you a pat on the head.
He doesn't understand.
Yeah, it's all right. It's all right.
Wait.
No, you got it.
Yeah.
High five, everybody.
Dylan.
High five, guys.
For your shitty ass fucking state. Fuck you.
I don't know if I can get you there, bro.
Yeah, I know you can. Because you're from Kentucky. Fuck you.
That's why. Because he's from Kentucky.
You and Cone are the reason why we lost Game 6. Fuck y'all.
Oh, okay.
All right, bye, Jerry.
All right. I'm totally kidding. Love you guys.
Love you, Jerry.
All right.
Bye.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah.
No. Can I gotta say I've never done more audio mixing in my entire life than when Jerry was on this episode. He was in front of the television screen and it was just like blaring, and I had to get it on like 2 out of 100 so he could still be like part of the podcast and not muted. I was doing
good job, Tierney.
I was doing a lot of work on the side for that.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the part where you turned him way down and then he just ranted for like 5 more minutes.
I was dying because Jerry was screaming at the phone and Cody was just still talking about whatever he was talking about.
Oh, Lord.
With that work, you're now Tierney 2-0.
Yep.
There you go.
That was a win.
Yeah, no, I love that.
After today, it's back to 0-0 too, by the way.
Yeah, back to 0-0, man.
Enjoy this one while we have it. Yep.
The West don't stop, baby.
Is like the team's super young and the heavy favorites are, I don't know exactly how betting terminology works. Like they're not favorites to win the championship next year, but they have the best odds. Is that
they're the
favorites? Like they don't have minus odds.
No, nobody has minus odds this early, but they're really good.
They're like plus 280 or something.
Yeah, which is
does that make them favorites? I don't know.
Yes, the next one is like 850 or something like that.
Okay, well, they have plus odds, but they're by far the best.
Yeah, FanDuel has OKC plus 220, and then Cleveland at plus 800.
Rockets, I thought
they're bringing in Topic, who was a blue chip draft prospect, maybe the 15th pick and or another draft pick. and like they should win more championships. Like theoretically, the pressure is off.
Yeah.
You know, like it does next year in the playoffs. I just can't imagine my heart pressure. Is that a thing? My blood pressure is going to get anywhere as high as it did it this year. Like, it's all gravy from here, guys. It would be nice to win multiple championships, of course, but we got one. So like whatever happens, this team is stamped forever. Like we do not have to worry about it.
The disparity of this league, or the parity of this league, is so much higher than it's ever been. Like teams just don't we don't see the Lakers, Kobe Shaq era or the Jordan, era anymore. You don't see teams just. I mean, the Warriors, I guess, were the most recent, but that doesn't happen anymore. Where teams just win like 3 out of 4 or 3 straight like that. There's so much parity in the league. But I mean, with that said, like next year we still have pretty much everybody still in the roster. We're not making any big moves, and knock on wood, proof of wood, if all injuries are not there, then like they have to be favorites. And going back a little bit to what we were talking about, just the whole run of the playoffs to get here, like my God, they got so much experience through all these levels of adversity. You go back to even wasn't a big one, but going all the way back to Memphis in that closeout game, Jog did get hurt, so it who knows if they would have actually.
That was game 3, but yeah,
or game 3. I'm sorry, yeah, they had that come back in game 3 to win it. You had obviously all the things that happened in Denver.
Down 0-1 to Denver, down 1-2 to Denver. Down by 9 in the fourth quarter every time they beat Denver after that.
Not just down 1-0 to Denver or Indy, like down 1-0, surrendering home court advantage and having to retake it back. Both.
And now
down
having
1 to Indy, down 1-2 to Indy.
Exact same, yeah. And also
down 1-2 to Indy, and down 9
in game 4. It's honestly so crazy how mirror image these series were to each other. But the other thing with those 2 series is like the other part of it, with their adversity is getting just absolutely wiped in game 6 for this series, and I think it was game 5 for it's game 3 for Minnesota. Just getting wiped on both of those games, and then coming back and like bouncing back like they've been doing all season. We're now 19-2 on the season with that. Like that is so reassuring for this team, because they're you just see them growing. You saw them for 2 months into what they are now.
Chet Holmgren broke his pelvis this year.
It snapped into 2 pieces.
That was this year.
He couldn't walk. That crutches video is crazy.
He played his best game of the series tonight too, by the way.
I think so. I mean, he was
great. Even when it was getting a little hairy and our buttholes were getting a little tight. All that was saving us was Chet blocking shots and Shea getting to the free throw line.
I remember who it was, but under the basket.
Rebounds, 5 blocks, shot 75% from the field and no turnovers and 3 fouls. Like it was by far his best game of the series.
I think the 5 blocks was the largest, the most blocks in an NBA game 7.
The offensive rebounds too, him and Dort.
Oh my God, Dort's offensive rebounds second half, man. Like he had 7 rebounds in the game, I think, but like the offensive rebounds in the second half were
just 3 offensive rebounds. Yeah.
I had 3 offensive rebounds too.
So pivotal.
But at the end of the game, and it was the whole second half really, but at the very end of the game, just offensive rebounds were just absolutely saving everything.
Yeah,
it's just crazy for this team, right? Like showing the difference from last year.
And what's crazy is, it was thrown around like going into the finals. I think Big Cat was the one that said it. Like, this is the worst Thunder team.
I love that take.
That we're gonna see. Like, this is the worst the team's gonna be. Like, a spoiler for the guys that haven't listened to the draft pod that I did with the Towers the other night. Like, it's the worst kept secret in the league right now that Presti is big man hunting. He's trying to get another big, whether that is a 5 or a 4. Like, he's trying to strengthen the bench with something that we didn't necessarily have. You know, we still have this gluttony of draft picks. We still have so many options in order to make this team even better. You know, last year he took the playoffs, he took the loss, and he was able to plug in exactly what we need to fix those needs. Like flipping Josh Giddey for Alex Caruso is going to be a generational trade. Like in terms
one of the best of all time.
Signing Isaiah Hartenstein, giving you exactly what you need as a guy that can, you know, give you physicality, give you force, give you rebounding, but also play the right way, play Thunder basketball by, you know, moving the ball and having the creation and whatnot. And now, you know, we won the finals, like we're NBA champions, absolutely, but we were not flawless. Like we have flaws that we can take care of throughout the offseason. And a lot of that just comes from growth and development of the other guys, getting healthy for guys like Chet and recovering, like having a full offseason to recover and a full season to play through. But Presti's got some knobs to twist and some levers to pull if he wants to make this team even scarier.
You just reminded me, the moment when I accepted that the Thunder were winning this game was when Caruso gave us permission. I think it was Chet got fouled.
Oh yeah,
rebound with like
that's exactly the moment.
Or something.
Yeah, the Chet foul when he did that was exactly
Caruso
the moment
turned around to the crowd and did his.
I was like, oh, we can do okay.
Just big smile on his face. I was like, we're doing it. Like, did we get to celebrate now?
What's you know, before they came back, it was like, what was it, like an 18-21 point lead at one point in the fourth quarter?
They got 22.
That moment I was very close. I was like very close to being like, oh my God, we did it.
But there was like 8 minutes.
It was just so like, I know, but it was too much time, but it was like just a couple minutes more at this lead and I can settle down. And then they just, you know, immediately.
It never happened. They just kept chipping away. But then that was the moment where it was like, oh, okay, like we can relax. Caruso has relaxed.
Yeah. If Caruso, I just follow Caruso no matter what. I'll kill for him. Really. Yeah.
You'll stab Cone for him.
Yeah, I'll kill Cone. I will celebrate when he tells me to celebrate. I will do whatever he tells me to do.
Like with you talked about winning the last game of the season. We've had some disappointment up to this point, and like we don't have that this year. And it feels very much like when you're watching a show and the show ends and you don't have another show to follow up with, you have that show hole and you're like, yeah, I'm missing something. Like I'm definitely going to feel that Thunder basketball void over the next couple of weeks. Like, wait, we don't have a game tonight? Mm-hmm. Like there's from the highest of highs. And now it's like,
the draft is like relief, tomorrow.
Like,
yeah, that's what I was going to say is like, we don't have to deal with it like 2 months ago. And be like, where's the basketball? Because we got basketball like in a couple days. We're good.
We have talk about basketball.
But yeah.
Going live for the draft's going to be kind of hard considering we are not as educated as we usually are.
That's the problem, man. When you're just a winning franchise, you just have no draft
I'm
knowledge.
Basically as educated as I usually am.
Oh, good. Okay, Steve, you should join us, please. Please, very please.
We're going to be the topic casual podcast.
I'm never a big contributor to the draft anyway, so I'll just come with whatever I know.
Hey, I will say the summer league is going to be electric because not only are we going to have whoever we draft, we're going to see Nikola Topic minutes, and
I might have to go to
AJ Mitchell minutes.
And AJ Mitchell, yeah, absolutely. Dylan Jones will be playing. Who knows? Other players like maybe would you still be playing? Or
probably graduated, right?
I think so.
Kayson's probably graduated.
Right? Yeah, he's not playing. He's earned his time.
Yeah, I don't know. They might try to throw him out from one game, but I'd say not.
Do what they did with Dub in game 2 where they played him for a quarter.
I would love for Kayson to get some burn as the point guard to be the facilitator.
Kayson goes out there, drops 20 at halftime like Dub did, and they're just like, all right.
They might actually do that because I think they'll follow the Dub path with that. See what he's got and be like, all right, you're good.
It was so nice that Kayson had some moments in games 5 and 7.
Yep.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Role players play better at home, man. That's all it comes down to. Same for the Pacers too. I mean, the Pacers role players were huge in Game 6.
I got a question. Besides obviously like the end where we won it, what were some of your like before this game throughout this series, the rest of the NBA playoffs? What were the now that we've won it and we can look back and be like, remember that and how that helped us? Remember this? Remember that? What were some of those that you guys are now looking back at and be like, cannot believe this happened? To me, to start off, the one is that I think of a lot now is I'm going to mess up the game. I think it was game 5 of Denver when Lou Dort was shooting horribly. And he just like went off and hit like 3 or 4
talking
straight
about whether
threes.
or not we should bench him.
Right. Mm-hmm. And then we all are on this podcast after the game being like, we're so sorry, Lou Dort. We love you. We didn't mean anything by it.
He had the moment on the wing where like he was trying to throw a like bounce pass to Hartenstein or something, and it was awful. And it was just like, he's killing us. We got to get him out. And the next thing you know, he goes freaking nuclear and hits 3 threes.
That's the moment. That to me is one of those moments I look back on now and be like, wow, can't believe we're here. I don't know if there are any others for you guys.
For Lou Dort, you just have to look at the games, and if he doesn't shoot well, then it just means that wasn't actually a big game. He shoots well in the big games.
Well done.
So he knows.
First 3 games of the Denver series, not a big deal.
No.
Dude.
Bro, we didn't talk about his hand grenade that he had at the end of the shot.
Oh my God.
That was talk about the dark magic for the Pacers. We had some dark magic right.
And that's when we were like 4 for 23 or something from 3 at that point.
He shot that thing so off balance and so straight up in the air that it just goes.
That ball was off out of the camera for a solid 5 seconds.
And of course, like Siakam's got to come hit a 3 right after that. But
yeah, that was
still like, what an incredible freaking shot, man.
And in the context of the play, too, where it was just all broken, nothing was working. I was like, let me just heave it up there.
Somebody said if this game was played at Texas Stadium or whatever, AT&T Stadium, he would have hit the scoreboard. That's probably true.
Broken a light. Yeah.
Speaking of Siakam, we shut him down in the second half.
Yeah.
I know. I did a halftime parlay. He had 13 points. I took him for 20, and I think he ended up with, 16 or 17?
Mm-hmm. Nobody outside of TJ McConnell.
I never want to see that JJ Barea climb ever again.
TJ, I will always remember TJ McConnell from the series just because of the two games where he just had like the third quarter of his life. But even as great as he was shooting, nobody else made a basket. I think it was like 8:30 left in the third quarter to like 10 minutes in the fourth quarter, something like that.
He made like 5, but he made on like 5 possessions in a row.
Yeah,
I know. But then when he wasn't, and it was other people, nobody else. We should.
The T in TJ stands for Tim, but the J stands for Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah, you're right. Not a lot of people know that too. That's why he abbreviated it, because it's got to be kid friendly.
He was taking Kaysen, Caruso, Shea, Chet to the rim.
Literally everyone.
If he played 48 minutes, like, how do you stop him? You know,
good luck.
Tired.
He was still negative 12.
He was still out there at the end.
I tweeted out about it, and there were some other fans being like, "Dude, he just does this to everybody." I'm like, "Why? Then why do just play him all game?" I don't know. Like, seems like a winning strategy, but he was.
I have a couple for. It's not. These aren't like groundbreaking, like minutia ones, but just things where the history will remember, or maybe should remember more. The Shea smile.
Yep.
After losing game 3 of the Denver series.
Shea smile.
Because that's awesome. And then you can show like his stats after that and the Thunder's record, like they reeled off a bunch of wins. And then the other one that I think is not going to be remembered as historically as it should be is that the Wolves game 4, where in Minnesota, either to go up 3-1 or to come back tied 2-2. And the Wolves played awesome, and the Thunder played okay, but J-Dub and Shea were awesome, and just like and Chet was great in that game too, and just that's one that they're going to be showing on like NBA TV, and like diehards are going to be like, bro,
that was the game they combined for
Wolves Thunder game 4. You remember
that was the one where he was like falling to the ground and he threw the ball to Dub through the guy's legs. Right. And
and the teams just went back and forth for like, it felt like the whole second half, just like punch and answer, like over and over.
Incredible
And over.
game.
Just a great game. That was one where even as it looks like the Thunder could lose, I'm still sitting there thinking like, man, even if they lose this game, I just have to objectively realize, like, know that this is an awesome game of basketball. Yeah. Usually if the Thunder have a chance of losing, I don't have that level of perspective about it. But that game was just too good for me to not realize objectively this is amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dylan or Moles, did you have any of those moments?
Well, that game for sure. And that specifically that moment, because it felt like in our history, we had other moments for other teams and other players. Like, it's just like, it feels like it's destiny for us to lose. Right. Well, Shea falling to the ground. And so we don't get to travel, getting the pass through the legs, which is hard to do in that moment, shot clock coming down and just getting it in drinks where he wasn't shooting well from three. It just was at that moment, it was like, okay, like this feels like we've got a little juice behind us now. Especially with kind of the way that game was going. And then you're like, okay, this thing's going to get flipped on its head on the heels of the Denver series. Right. And we're just, again, I'm a doomer. I admit that. And so for me to have a moment like that, where I'm like, hey man, this thing could actually work. That was probably one of the most pivotal moments of the playoffs. So
yeah, like they grew up a lot in the Denver series, and then I think that was the first game where they like were grown up and had like a we are grown up performance.
Yeah. Well,
here's one, and this depends somewhat on like what the future holds, but in the championship, like it was while Shea was accepting his Finals MVP trophy.
Oh,
and they asked him to talk about J-Dub, and the crowd barked a lot, and that was great. And I think he said like, this is a once in a lifetime player or something like that. Yeah. And J-Dub said, because he's perpetually online, he said Scottie Pippen. J-Dub said that. And just I know it's easy to say, to be like self-sacrificing and to say things like that after you win a championship, of course. But just thinking back to version 1.0, and we all wanted James Harden to be our Manu Ginobili, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he would have never.
He would not have said Scottie Pippen.
He wouldn't have said Scottie Pippen. He wouldn't have said Manu. And J-Dub saying that, like, again, it depends what happens in the future. Like he just won a championship. He's feeling good. It maybe down the line he wants to be Michael Jordan. We'll see. But for this moment, and if it turns out the right way, 10 years from now, we can look back on that moment and be like, this is why it all worked. Like he wanted to be Scottie Pippen in that moment when Shea was accepting the Finals MVP trophy. And I just thought that was really cool.
I liked how he gave he basically made him co-Finals MVP too. That was cool.
A lovely gesture.
I hope they honor it. That'd be great.
I mean,
just stack a second name right next to him.
Dude, but seeing Shea with his arm around Dub, like it's a full circle moment, because the Thunder with them, as the clock's winding down against Miami, and they've got their arms around each other there too. Like it felt like, we're going to be back.
Mm-hmm.
But like, this feels like we're going to be back. Like this isn't a one and done thing. It just, the complete
it was an arrival, you might say, not an appearance.
I mean, I think a lot of people in Oklahoma are going to arrive tonight. It's certainly the statement's been made. They're going to be the population's going to spike in March.
Oh, got it. Okay.
I was unclear on what you were saying there.
A lot. 9 months from now, the arrival will happen.
The Larry O Boomers.
The Larry O Boomers.
One of my favorite moments was actually Game 5 against Denver. In which like this was another one where it was just like back and forth like all game. Ended up coming down to the clutch, Jokic actually had 44 points, and like every bucket that we had down the stretch, he was hitting one. He even had that one ridiculous one at the end of the shot clock where he like took the one step.
Yeah.
Just bring it in. Immediately after that, Shea found Dub in the corner, and like mind you, Dub had been having an awful series against Denver, couldn't get anything going. Nailed the three. Again, Jokic answered, but Shea came down the other end and hit a three, and that basically ended the game at that point. And it was huge for the MVP stepping up over the incumbent, but also empowering his teammate to kind of spearhead him into the next series, because Dub went on to play great in the Minnesota series. He went on to play great at the beginning, say the beginning. Like he played great throughout the NBA Finals, in the whole Pacers series. And I feel like we talked about
leave Game 6 out.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Game 6 he didn't get to play the whole game really, so it could have gone better. But we talk about all these years about how Shea empowers his teammates, like how he could have broke his career high many seasons ago. It's just a lot of times he prioritized getting his teammates in rhythm, and I thought that was an example of that at on the biggest stage, and it paid dividends throughout the postseason run. So I thought that game was as important as any other game in the postseason, because not only for all the things I just said, but it also was one of those games you could really feel the team start to grow up before our eyes, because we got the ugly win in Game 4, but that was that was more of a game where it was okay, we actually took this game in the clutch. It wasn't just because the Nuggets kind of fell all over themselves.
Yeah.
We out clutched the Nikola Jokic, what many people consider the best player in the world. So yeah, that was one of the big moments for me. And of course the smile was great. Being able to come back after getting just slobber knocked in Game 3 against the Timberwolves. And then, again, the Pacer series, all the parallels that we've had, to see one game winner on your home floor in the playoffs is demoralizing. To see two happen in the same postseason run and still able to have the fortitude to bounce back and reclaim home court advantage, win the series, it's just unheard of, man. It's uncanny.
The Thunder had, of course, their fair share of breaks along the way in this playoff run. But, man, it feels like no team ever missed, a clutch shot against the Thunder.
Yeah.
They had to do it the hard way every step of the way, as far as within the game goes. It's so nice for J-Dub. This season is – he's stamped forever, right? His third NBA season, All-Star, All-NBA, All-Defense champion.
Yep.
Co-finals
MVP. Clear
MVP.
number 2 with, the struggles, especially on offense that Chet had. Nobody can say anything about Jalen Williams anymore. The conversations he is in are completely different. I still see people arguing about him or Paolo, and it's I do not care. Until Paolo gets some accolades,
won a ring, brother.
Paolo dropped 40 in the finals.
Chapter of the book, It's so great.
Yeah.
Dude, we got Chet and Dub in the same draft.
All time.
We got two of the biggest pieces. Obviously Shea is the largest, but the next two is just like that. Yeah, we went through a Giddey, which ended up getting us Caruso, but incredible being able to pull him out, because a lot of people said that we reached significantly on that, but actual ball knowers, weren't the Pacers actually one of the teams that were interested in him? Is that accurate? Am I misremembering that? There was a team in that range that was looking to get him.
I think it was the Cavs and the Hawks, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. But just unreal, man. Being able other dynasties, in order for a dynasty to happen, and I guess now it's okay to start entertaining these conversations, because we've got one, and you can't be a dynasty without starting at least with one.
They're no longer premature, right? That is now the goal going forward. Is to become.
You don't get that without hitting a player like Dub in that range, right? That you gotta have it. You gotta have a player in that range that just far exceeds expectations and becomes like an all NBA type of player. It's just incredible that we got it in his third season.
Yeah. And, kind of like a segue, like into the next portion of like our fandom. It just goes to show you how important the NBA draft is. And like, even as a contender, even after you're the NBA champion, like how important it is to the team building. Because like, yeah, we traded for Shea, we traded for Caruso, we signed Isaiah Hartenstein, and but like drafted like signed Lou Dort as an undrafted free agent, drafted Aaron Wiggins at pick 55. Of course, we drafted Jay Will, Ousmane Dieng. Like, the core of this team was built through the draft, and you can't overlook the draft, and that's why we couldn't shine as bright of a spotlight as we usually do on the draft, but like we definitely wanted to acknowledge it because there's a lot of talent in this year's draft. Like last year's draft, nobody was really excited about. Like this year's draft, there's some names. Like it's kind of wide open in terms of like after pick 9 to pick 20. There's a lot of talent that could go in that range, and thankfully that's where the Thunder have at least their first pick, and they can add and strengthen to this team and prolong this championship run. So exciting stuff.
I'm just sitting here thinking about like all the things that like are official or have changed, or like how the conversations are different with this championship having happened. Like the timeline was fine. That's proven, right? Like if they had lost this game, there would have been people who were like, see, like Chet wasn't quite ready, like, so the timeline, everything we said, like Shea was too far and his teammates aren't ready. Nope. Or Presti hoards picks and he's not willing to like do what it takes to get across the finish line. It's a Ponzi scheme, and he just wants to like sustain like next level success, not win championships. Nope, never again. Now he's doing 2 timelines better than the Warriors could ever pull it off. Like just all these things where people had these criticisms, and a lot of them even turned out to be right. Like sometimes the guys did look too young. The shooting faltered, at various points, including tonight for long stretches of the game and long stretches of different series in this playoff run. What else? Like they would get called for a lot of fouls, right? Like they're being too handsy. Shea wouldn't get to the line as much. Like some of these things are true, and it just didn't matter because they were just too good. Like they were too young and they shot poorly and they fouled too much and they were too dependent on free throws sometimes, and it didn't matter. They were just too good.
Yeah.
Dagnall would make mistakes.
Yeah, Dagnall made mistakes. Yeah. He did. Why he went no big tonight for the first time in several games. I don't know why. It didn't work. We got killed on the glass immediately.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter. Forget about it.
Like, fouling up 3.
He gets to grow up fouling up 3.
Yeah. That's the one I'll never forget that one. But it's much less of a problem now.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. Talk about it anymore.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm going to forget it actually.
Blowing game 1 of the Pacers series, blowing game 1 of the Denver series, like complete choke jobs. Don't have to worry about that anymore. Don't have to spend the next 3 decades regretting those games because I don't care anymore.
I'll probably forget about it in several months.
Getting blown out in that Wolves game, getting blown out in that Pacers game, irrelevant.
Who cares?
I don't care that they didn't show up, that they were completely lackadaisical and without urgency in those games. Don't care. Doesn't matter. Won anyways.
I was there. I wish they would have shown up.
Yeah, I guess that's true. There's some skin in the game.
Yeah. There was also a guy that leaned in my ear after TJ McConnell's run and was like, "That's how a white man plays basketball." I was like,
"All right, brother." The image.
Well, he's not wrong.
You saying the phrase "a man leaned in and whispered in my ear." I'm picturing like he got like right up to your ear, like whispered
Felt
it
his
to you.
eyelashes.
Yeah,
That's how a white man plays basketball.
that's what I'm imagining in my head.
Maybe I should say whisper. He yelled it in my ear.
Okay.
Okay, whispering is much funnier though. In a
Yeah.
stadium.
Tom was like, he's trying to get us turned around so hard. Like, yeah.
And then I said, "What?" And then he said it louder.
Say it louder. And the Thunder scored, and it's real quiet, and everybody hears him. Is like,
So, if we're shifting our mindset, it's a good question because we got the 14 players under contract. Is the Jang Gang done?
I think future. I don't know. We don't need to talk about that tonight.
We won a
Okay.
championship. Let's
Yeah.
celebrate.
We touched on
Don't throw-
Hartenstein a little bit when I almost said something about him when he was talking about targeting a big, but like,
Who
that's
cares? Who
Don't throw dirt
cares?
on my James grave. I saw him hit a step back three in the finals. I can.
He's got a ring. He's got 2 rings. 2-ring Jang.
He's got 2 rings,
Also,
man.
didn't I think Hartenstein also has a G League championship
Yeah, he
and
does.
Finals MVP.
Did you guys see that Alex?
League MVP. Yeah.
Did you guys see? Let me pull it up. Alex Caruso had a quote today, and he said, "Now I got a real one. No one can say anything." 'Cause he wanted the
Because
bubble.
it's not Mickey Mouse.
Yeah. So technically, it's his first ring in a crowd of
His-
people. Yeah.
Shout out Derek Parker.
Yeah.
Go home.
Shout out Derek, the friend of the pod, Derek Parker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was visor high, man. I can't wait to go back tomorrow and just like listen to all the quotes, watch all the interviews.
I'm watching every podcast, bro. Every podcast.
Oh yeah. Well, I already know. I already know what Bill Simmons is about to say.
I'm gonna keep tally of which ones lead with Halliburton and which
Yeah,
ones.
there'll be a lot. There'll be a lot. And again, like it sucks. I wish he would have been in. And Pacers can say that they would have won if he was in. That's great. You didn't. Sorry. We have a banner.
I do low key. Like I hurt. Like when I saw Hallie go down.
It was like I think the crowd in the first half was not like what you expect the crowd to be, and I think a lot of it was just because of what I just saw.
Well, in the game too, like the half, like I think both teams were shook. But
Yeah,
like
horrible
whenever
half on
Hallie
both
like
ends.
went down and we scored, and they showed the replay, or no, they didn't show the replay. They just showed him, and you could see he was like
Him just screaming like no.
He screamed. He was crying. Like it was so
Yeah.
visceral, and I was just like,
You could feel that.
He
I
said
think
like
he was yelling, I popped it.
I did it, or something like that.
Because
was
it's,
so obvious.
I mean, that's got to be like I can't even can't even fathom you've made it literally to the one game where you're like, now I'm gonna pop off, and he was.
you're on
And-
fire.
What happened?
And you've been playing like with the knowledge that this is a risk you're taking.
Yeah.
You know, for like 2 games or whatever, however long ago he heard it. Like,
Yeah.
at least since before Game 6, like he had the conversation. Like, if you play, you might tear your Achilles tendon. Like that is the risk you're taking.
Yeah.
And then everything's going amazingly for him. I still don't think I don't think he could get to the basket. Like he was making threes, but I don't think he could go around anybody. I mean, we saw what happened.
And when he tried to, that's what happened.
And
I don't really know if he even attempted.
He had to be
before
feeling
that.
like he had dodged the bullet, you know.
No,
until the very end. Yeah.
Yeah, we had already tied the game back up before his injury. That dunk actually ended up being the lead taking. I think we made the adjustments we needed to make. Like for some reason, when he was going under on his screens.
Great. Why did we do that? He can't move.
I don't understand that at all. But I think we made the adjustments we needed to make. We was definitely more locked in. Like the defense, like after that timeout, after Hallie made that first three, the defense was as locked in as I've seen all season. In terms of like, I think immediately after that, they had another player where they got put in a blender, but they rotated perfectly. Like the guys went out to close out to, I think it was Miles Turner that was open, and he kicked it over to the corner. And or to the wing, and the guy from the corner shifted over. Caruso ran all the way over to the corner before the guy at the wing could pass over to the corner. And at that point, there was a body on every body, and there was like 5 seconds left in the shot clock. So, they were locked back in at that point. So, is it easy to say that, the Pacers would have won if Howard, was healthy? Sure, I guess you could say that, but you also, we don't know.
Yeah.
No one way or the other.
It's different than the Tatum one, because the Tatum one was like they're already going to win that game definitively. It happened so much earlier in this game, but it's still like that's all just hypothetical.
Maybe McConnell doesn't go off because he's not getting the run.
When Hallie got hurt and McConnell, when I realized McConnell was getting more minutes in the moment, I was like, oh, this might actually be actually kind of a problem. And it was for a little bit.
You saw the blueprint in that second quarter, right? And it was basically I think at halftime the Pacers were 8 for 16 from 3, which is like a thing that could happen. Like they could have finished the game like that, and it might have gone a different way. But
the Spears, Alex Spears on friend of the pod also was mentioning a couple weeks ago that how the Pacers have never lost a series as long as they shoot over 37%, and they shot over 37%. Siri is searching Alex Spears on Siri. Sorry, they shot over 37% from 3 this series too, and
of this game,
of the series, and still won. So little nugget there. We actually weathered the ridiculous shooting that this Pacers team has somehow found out. Yeah, the dark magic that they have.
We won shooting 27% from 3 tonight.
I wanted to mention I was going to mention when we were talking about moments. The fact that we went 2.5 games basically where we shot under, I think close to 15% from 3, from game 5 to game 6 and the first half of game 7 today. And the fact that we won 2 out of those 3 games is how does that happen? That's absurd. It's because it's their identity is they don't really rely on that.
And
the Towers kept saying whenever they was talking about drafting somebody that has shooting concerns, is well, but you have Chick Penguin, so the best shooting coach in the league. I was like, I just gotta say, Chip Penguin's kind of on fraud watch at this point.
Well, I don't know. Maybe he's on vacation right now. I don't know. Something's happening.
He fixed Lou Dort.
He did.
That's the one he always will get credit for.
Yeah.
Well, I wish my wallet was on vacation, but it's about to be put to work. So,
bro, I'm so glad we won this chip because I have spent so much money over this.
Also, can I just put on the record that Jalen Williams' wrist is effed up?
Yes,
if he comes out and has a surgery next week, I'm not going to be surprised at all. He's been
his dribbling was
before games. He can't catch. He can't dribble.
His dribbling is just so bad, dude.
I have a hard time holding his 3-point shooting, and mid-range shooting wasn't good this run either.
But it's left.
I have a hard time holding it against him. I think his wrist is jacked up.
Good point.
I was watching. My brother is in town this week, and so we had sort of a late Father's Day together as a family. We were watching the game, and my sister was also watching with us. And when J-Dub hit the 1-3 from the left corner and it swished, my sister was just like, "Oh, he actually swished one." And I was like, "Yeah, that was literally the first one they switched. Everything else was clank or clanked up and got in, but he didn't have a lot of swishes, and it's a lot of the wrist. I hope that also kind of makes you wonder what he could be with 2 healthy wrists next playoff, because we saw a 40-point game in game 5. How much more could we see that?
I don't think very often in this playoff run, I don't think we really saw the Thunder's A game.
From the big 3 in general, I don't think we ever saw it once.
Or as a whole team, the games.
And at least
there's obviously the games they won by 40.
Yeah,
but those were once every 8 games or something like that. But I don't think we played that well, and holistically in this run,
offensively,
well. The defense was great, obviously, but Chet shot terribly. for ever from 3 for the whole run. J-Dub, Shea, like basically everybody shot bad except Caruso. So like there's another level that this team can get to, and that's without like they're gonna just get better.
It's our worst championship team.
They're gonna get better because they're young, but even as good as they are now, they didn't play as well as they are, as good as they are, and they won a championship.
I also asked this. He says Shea is the greatest Thunder player of all time, right? He's the greatest and he is the best, and I will hear nothing of it.
He definitely had the greatest NBA season in Thunder history.
Sure, I don't.
I'm
not as into those conversations as some people are, but I think probably so.
You know the shirts that say one for the city?
Yeah.
They're already sold out.
Oh yeah.
Every size.
I got that thing immediately. As soon as I saw it, I was like, oh my God.
I'm gonna have to. I want the ones they were wearing today.
Do they have tall sizes?
They're all gone. XXL's gone.
I would get a triple XL.
Do they have tall sizes? It's crazy.
They do sell large talls. I'm in the large tall.
I'll find one somewhere.
Yeah.
DHK.
I'll have one printed.
You guys?
Yeah. No, bro. Cone brought back the late night roll call.
Real one, say it back.
Yeah.
Did you guys see Shea and his baby taking photos? Look, that baby's just with those trophies.
How's that baby?
Look at that. Look at that aura.
How's that baby awake? Oh my goodness.
Bro,
look at that baby.
Acknowledge the run that Converse went on in this playoffs?
That commercial right after they won, bro, was fire.
A different color, like he had the butters through the regular season. He brought out the Aries gray immediately after that. Then he had the Charm black. Then he had the
He had the Charm black during the series. Mother's Day was in.
Yes. And then he had the Hail Clays. He had the Mossy Blues for this series. And then after we won it all, he walked over to the sidelines. He hugged and kissed his wife. He hugged his dad. And he got another pair of the Shea 001s, and it was solid gold for the finals. Like I had my doubts whenever he signed with Converse, just because Converse was kind of like in the mud in terms of like their basketball division.
They just called it. They called the whole series. They called the whole
creative
playoffs.
Director. So how much? I don't know how much credit he gets.
I hope he was the one that had that idea.
He could.
He's like, hey, listen, when I win the NBA Finals this year, let's get a gold shoe.
Even just like having 4 colorways, each named after a family member, right? So it's not like he was just like, as long as we keep going, I'll just keep putting a new one out. Like these were specifically planned to be released on the schedule, and it doesn't work unless you make the finals.
What a risk! Because if he
didn't win the finals, you can never release the gold ones.
But even because
everybody would be like, you had those planned for winning the finals, didn't you? But you didn't.
But he still would have released the other 4, and that was such a huge risk because if he's not in it, then he just keeps releasing. Like if we lost for whatever reason, got lost in like the first round, we wouldn't. But if we did, he'd have 3 other weeks of this. It's like every time we'd get cooked, and he was just like, "No, that's not going to happen." Yeah,
everyone would know that he had it planned. Cockily.
Yeah, no, it's been a legendary run. But fellas, I mean, we've been going about an hour and a half. The vibes are high, but I've got to get up in like 3 hours.
I can't believe it's 12:30. It doesn't feel like 12:30 to me.
It's 1:30 over here, big man.
10:30.
Oh
I'm gonna be hanging out on Twitter and listening to podcasts for like 3 more hours before
we listen to everything.
Yeah, I'll be listening to everything tomorrow. Like,
so excited to listen to.
I'm listening to Hoop Collective, Bill Simmons pod, Zach Lowe pod,
all of them.
Nerd Sesh. Shout out to my guys at Nerd Sesh.
The only downside of this level of success is that like Stephen A. Smith is on Hoop Collective or whatever. Like,
is he really?
Like he makes appearances, or like they bring in the big guns, you know.
The
big guns are the guns I rarely am interested in the opinions of.
Shump was actually pretty good.
He sucks.
Shump was pretty good. I mean, Bill Simmons did Doc Rivers, who you just cannot listen.
Yeah, he's just like, I knew Shea was gonna be this, and I told him, I was like, hey. Probably don't need to trade him. Oh, Doc, never change.
What
Yeah.
a time.
gonna
What a
be-
time to be alive, everyone.
But
I'm
yeah,
so
fellas, we're the NBA champions, man. We freaking did it.
You did it, Joe.
Shay's wrote his name in the history books, and we're just getting started, bro. We're just getting started. Dolan, I just, kind of close, and it reminds me of something Russell Westbrook said, and you so eloquently put whenever our season ended one year, is when Russell Westbrook said to Kevin Durant, whenever the Thunder were playing the Warriors in a timeout, he said, "We're coming." And you talked about, the idea of what it's going to be like, as there's no way to not say this and sound weird, but when we're coming, and now we're here, man. We're here, and we're not going.
We're coming, and we're here.
We came.
We came. I can't believe we all came.
I hate it. Well, that was supposed to be a more sentimental moment, but
You laid that out for us.
I love it. But yeah, fellas, thank you for being a part of this with all of us.
Shout out.
And of course to you guys, Mike, y'all my brothers. I love y'all to death.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been a ride. It's been a thrill experience, and the highs and lows, the ebbs and flows with you on this. And hey, we're here. Let's keep it rolling, man. Let's win a couple more.
Next pod is draft.
Shout out Poku.
We never would have been here without Poku, man.
Shout out Poku. Shout out Jeremy Lamb.
Charlie Brown Jr.
Everybody just throw out some random Thunder players real quick.
Nerlens Noel, my guy.
Oh, yes. Prime Nerlens.
Prime Nerlens, man. We wouldn't be here without Prime Nerlens.
Samaz Kristen.
Oh, my gosh.
Man.
Nenad Krstić. Look, we went from having Thunder players throwing chairs to now sitting on a throne. Let's go.
Wow.
Oh, did y'all see Aaron Nesmith kick that chair when he fouled out?
Hit that old woman almost. That was crazy.
That was crazy. Yeah, no, man. It's we did it for the players. We did it for the city.
Nazir Muhammad.
Did it for the fans, man. Like Shay said, I think Bowerjack put it way up there in the chat. Said the crowd was the wind in our backs, and that it carried us through. So again, thank you to my brothers. Thank you to the listeners. Y'all have been awesome all season, all playoffs. Like we've gone live after every single game. There's been a lot of games for the Thunder this year.
So many games.
Y'all been popping in the chat. Just one last time, before we sign off, please like the video, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out when we go live, like we will for the NBA draft, and keep it here, man, because as Tierney said, the content is going to keep on rolling in because the Thunder are the champions and the vibes are high and they're staying high because we are in position to do a lot more over the next couple seasons. So
there's people in the chat just naming random Thunder players.
I love it.
I love that.
If you're in the chat right now, or if you're in the chat,
if you're in the comments after we're live, if you're listening to this, put the whatever Thunder player you want.
Yeah,
make it as random as possible.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say.
My bad.
Retroactively, but yeah, drop some names, some Thunder legends in the chat. We'd appreciate that. But yeah, subscribe to the channel. I don't know what our actual final tally was, but hey, we will count this podcast. If by tomorrow we hit 1,000 subscribers, we will achieve our goal by the end of the playoffs. That's what I'm going to say. That's my story. I'm to it. But on behalf of myself, Matt Tierney, Matty Moles, Stephen Dolan, Alex Roig, Jerry Stevens, and of course, the man, myth, the legend, the Underscone Cone. We thank you guys. Hope you all have a great night. God bless. Hoop when you can. And as always,
Thunder up!